Yeah.
Are they? I think, I don't
So I
know.
opened
Okay,
it.
recording is in progress.
Okay.
That's going. Can I close this one, Andrew, or not?
That, yeah, you can close that.
That one, okay, close that one, get rid of that one. And then do you want the agenda up, Barry?
Sure,
Okay, and can I start the video yet?
sure.
I can,
No, I said
No.
sure.
the American Ramp video?
What? No, not that.
Okay.
No, we're gonna start the meeting.
Okay,
Since we have no.
this is going, everything's good over here, Andrew?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's recording.
We good?
On Zoom,
We're good for now?
we're recording.
I have to apologize to those that I didn't have Doug Ryken's phone number or Kathy Ray Smith. So
Okay,
I,
the new-
yeah, the newbies, so I didn't get a message out to them that we were gonna start a little earlier,
Yeah.
so. We'll have
Does
good
does
minutes.
anybody have their contact information?
I have emails for them, but I sent everybody a text message. I didn't have that.
You could
phone.
try an email, I don't know,
But
that might save them from showing up, at 6:30 and we're done, only have 10 more minutes.
yeah, I'm not sure. Well, we're gonna have some people show up at 6:30, like this Jeff Hale from Polish Homes and Minnie Monacuco, and they're gonna wanna talk about the Emerald Necklace and the bike and tech, so
All right,
there'll be some stuff. Our portion of the meeting will be done, and we'll just catch on the specials,
perfect,
so. We need to approve the November 2024 meeting minutes. Everybody should have received a copy of those.
I move that we approve them.
Kara, Jim, Kara first, Jim second, so those are approved. We have nobody to introduce, so we don't have any introductions right now. So let's go to the monthly Parks Department update. And we'll talk about Auburn Farms, Maple Street, and then the Pedal Park in that order. So Auburn Farms, Jerry, why don't you let everybody know that what we talked about?
We're just moving forward with the 60% design. We have nothing new to bring to you at this meeting.
Right, and as far as dollar figure that we have right now, it's like,
Guessing 3 million.
we're guessing like 3 million, but what we're asking, we've asked Jim Davis. We need Eileen Stein, the financial department, we need accurate data, we need to know what we've got going into 25, 26 on our Parks SDC money, what we have, what we get annually on our parks maintenance fee, how much do we bring in? And what have we used that money for in this past year? We have no idea what we've used that money for. At one time, we gathered that I knew of, we would accumulate approximately $500,000 in our parks maintenance fee. We have no idea what that money is being used for, other than perhaps they're paying the salaries of 2 to 3 maintenance employees. That's not what that money was intended to be used for. Maybe at the start in 2018, because everybody always said, well, we can't build any new parks because we don't have money, we don't have the people to maintain. So maybe initially, but now, I mean, we should be getting money out of, those salaries should come out of general fund. Okay, and so we should be able to have that money to pay for repairs to parking lots, say for instance, over at Legacy Park, or restroom rehab, any kind of work that we ought to be able to use that money for repairs. So that's what I think it should be intended for, not to pay salaries. Salaries should come out of general fund. We got enough policemen.
Maple Street Park Phase 3. I have prices, just in estimates for parking lot, playground equipment and all that. Basically just $566,000 to replace the playground equipment.
How much?
566, Dave. And then we looked at combining the little kids with the big kids over there, and then putting a parking lot in where on the south side parking, add parking to that. Where that playground was, and everyone I've talked to says it kind of makes sense to combine them, so they're not so spread out. And so the parking lot, my estimate for that parking lot would be, $225,000. And so to do that, or we leave it the way it is, spread it out and do a parking lot over where on the north side over by the splash pad, and that's about $150,000. But we have $998,000 budgeted, so we could afford to do these projects.
Can you get as many cars in the south side as you were gonna put in the north?
It'd be a lot more. It's a little bigger. I forget how much bigger, but it's slightly bigger.
Can we do both? Or can you do both?
Or
is it not?
potentially,
Yeah.
potentially, yeah.
We need to do one now, I mean, maybe the second one later on down the road, I'm not parking, but just to maybe make where the small playground structure is right now. What he's proposing or what they proposed is do away with that small playground. Extend the parking into that area. Extend the parking into that area where that playground is, move that small playground and join the large playground, make it one big playground. And we've heard from some of the people, that have come to our meetings in the past. It's like, well, can't watch, I've got one kid that's playing on this equipment. I've got another kid over here that's playing on the smaller. It's hard to watch them both. So what if we could combine them? I don't see that really as a bad idea. And I don't know.
I don't see that as a bad idea, but how much room do we have to do that? I mean, isn't it going to be significantly reducing the amount of playground area? No?
If it's good, he said it makes sense.
Oh, really?
Yep.
The playground stuff on the north side is kind of sparse. So
Yeah,
there's room, there's.
That's what he said, and, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, and when my kids were younger, there was a big enough age gap that it was like, oh man, I
Right,
go to the one at the far end and the big one's forward, I go to the other one and the little one
Yeah.
can't play on the stuff, so.
There's
Yeah.
also an extension that they're actually putting in, right?
Does everyone know Dustin?
yeah, we've met it.
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody knows Dustin.
If you were,
Go ahead, Dustin, sorry.
if you were at the last meeting, you know.
No, I was asking, I think there is an extension that I saw in the plans where they're actually adding more to the playground itself.
Okay,
So, yeah, they like that, but we could, either way, I mean, it all works, we could afford to do any of it. The biggest thing is having this conversation is I went over the numbers that I came up with out of the budget, and if we do Maple, and do Auburn Farms and do phase 3 and all that, I don't think we can afford to do the pedal park. But without having the updated numbers, we don't know. So I don't know if this group wants to make a decision, wants to have that decision to wait and try to get accurate numbers coming in so we know when we all work together and build the CIP out, or if we want to move forward with Maple.
We need the accurate one.
That's what I would prefer to wait for.
I feel like we need the accurate numbers, but I also feel like we should finish some projects before we start new ones too. I mean, and we haven't taken the temperature of the city to find out how interested the general population would be in the pedal park. So if we're gonna, that's my opinion.
Okay, well,
I want to go back to the Auburn Farms just for a second, because we were talking about playground equipment, Terry, we still don't have that. What I've asked Dave Connor to do is to kind of come up with a grouping. We need to narrow, we can't look at 1,400 pieces of different.
we followed up on this, and this gentleman that designed the playground options for Maple, we want to talk to him, and he's gonna narrow it down and tell us what we need. This guy's
Perfect.
good.
That's what we want. And
Yeah,
that's
so
what
we're working on that, we'll have that for the next meeting, and,
Excellent.
yeah,
That's what we want to bring back to our meetings.
something to look at and some options that are realistic, so we're not looking through 5,000 different.
And we might be getting a good figure that we can use.
Accurate
for
numbers.
Accurate numbers. Okay, let's go on to,
But that kind of stuff, the new playground equipment, you can't use SDCs for that. You
Yes.
can.
Yep. increasing
At
capacity.
Maple Park?
Yes. It's, it's not the most ideal situation, Dave, it's, until that park is at capacity, we can use SDCs. So,
Okay.
we got it approved and it's okay to do it, it's in this year budget, so we could.
Well, I like the idea of combining the two playgrounds
Yeah.
and just using that area for, parking. It makes a lot of sense, more sense than tearing up a whole other piece of property
Mhm.
that we could maybe save for something else at some point. If we,
That's
and
kind
it's
of-
always there to do parking if we decided we needed it there too.
And looking at that layout, it doubles the size of that small parking lot.
Is it,
Yeah.
yeah,
And if you're redoing, you're talking about repaving it too,
Mhm.
I'm wondering if there could be a different arrangement there. to make it
that's
more
what we
space
would
efficient.
do when we did it, we'd lay it all out different,
Yeah.
probably change the planters, we could probably gain some parallel.
A lot,
parking,
I think so, yeah,
That'd be a good upgrade,
I think so.
especially since there's complaints about parking on the street.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So it's a lot of good things.
Yeah, I like that, I like that a lot.
I just wish we were a little further ahead so we could move forward faster if we do, but I know it's a process and we just need to keep,
Yeah,
we need to keep pushing forward and look at money and make a decision, and I'd like to get that CIP built, so we have a plan and see if Maple falls into it. That's all I had, Barry, because the pedal park, I don't really want to talk about until we know we have money for it.
I want you to run the video.
I can agree.
Yeah.
yay.
Even, can we wait for Ryan?
Yeah, come on in, Ryan.
Traffic was brutal.
Rush hour.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
You lost your seat. Okay, can I start it?
Try to sit over here.
In the corner with, we're gonna run a video that we got from American Ramp Company on the pedal park, and skate park they did in.
That's it, Eric?
So when we talked, and Kara, I hear what you're saying, we know, we want to do, we need to do Auburn Farms first, we need to complete that part. Okay, I think everybody here would agree with that.
And Maple Street.
In Maple Street, we need to parking, playground,
Right.
restroom, approximately $1 million to do all three of those. And that includes putting in a new restroom. So Maple and Maple. And then after that, we would look at this, and we've talked about phasing this in. Sorry, we talked about phasing this in, phase one, the pedal parks. Okay, and that would be about 1.5 million. That includes, that's the design, Jerry calls it the grub work, and then the build. It would be 1.5, and then the other 1.5, it would be approximately 1.5 on the skate park side of it.
So it'd be 3 million total for that.
So,
We're gonna do everything.
but we could phase it, looking at it, since we have a skate park, so to speak, right now, nothing like that, but you know, we phase it in, and it's a little easier to do that way, right, Jerry?
They would, if you did it in 2 phases, the original design, the first design would actually
Cover both.
cover both, so that we didn't have to redesign anything. It would work with the storm system and the layout.
Is this something I could put on Friends of Canby Parks, this video that we just watched? It's just see if people get
Just a good
excited.
feel.
People get excited about it.
Come on.
Hi,
Yeah,
I didn't
come on
want
in.
to interrupt.
You can sit.
Come on in.
Are you here for public input?
Well, I'm Nancy Pierce from Maintenance Engineering and Forestry. I'm here to talk about the Emerald Necklace Trail.
Oh, yeah, just have a seat anywhere you want. And
We'll
I know
get you
those.
to introduce in just a minute when we'll finish our business.
Oh, thank you.
I don't have a
It's-
problem.
it's
Is it
not-
too early to? do-
Well, we don't have it even in our capital improvement plan. We don't have it. So I hate to
Right,
get-
but if I were to phrase it something like, this is something that the city council has reviewed as potentially something that could come to Canby at some point in time, is anybody interested? That kind of thing? Because I'm interested to know.
We took, at one point, if I'm not mistaken, we did take a vote in our group,
Yeah,
and we decided to pursue this.
right, pursue, investigate, and then the city council reviewed it.
And city council.
And they like it.
They liked it, and they
Right.
wanted to pursue it, so. I think we could, I think that I don't see any reason why.
Maybe the wording is important,
Right,
the way you phrase that. right,
Yeah.
Is gonna be really important.
it's kind of taking the temperature of the community to see, I
Well,
guess.
I
what
mean,
the feel-
$3 million is a significant price tag.
Sure, for
I
anything.
I don't know if we can even afford
Yeah,
Right,
it. So
but
I would
it's-
hate to put, if we could afford it and it could go in the CIP, then I think we could potentially think about throwing it there. But if we can't even afford it, I would hate to.
Yeah.
Ryan, what did you want to say?
Well,
You can put what you want on here.
I was just gonna say, obviously there's
Sure.
a pretty extensive park. It's got all kinds of things going on in it. I know we've talked about it, but I'm not even sure. Like, that looked like the kind of the Daytona of these pedal parks. What, for $1.5 million, what is ours looking like? I guess, I have no idea what ours would, the scope and size and all that cool stuff.
That park you saw there is about the footprint we have downtown.
Okay.
You can do the same thing.
Right, but I mean, how much, do we know what they spent on that whole situation versus if we have $3 million And there's this, I mean, I have no idea, $6 million
No, theirs was below that $3 million.
for that whole shooting match.
That's what I kind of remember too.
Yeah. I do remember that.
Yeah, there was, but they also had a pretty good sized playground up above that we haven't accounted for in our, in ours. And that playground that they had, I mean, they had zip lines and all kinds of stuff, so. And we didn't put that in.
I would really prefer, city's opinion is to see how much money we have, build the CIP, and then if we have the money to do it, then Kara gets some input.
Here's what-
Until, like, maybe after talk about the next meeting, maybe look into that.
Well, here's one thing that I'm gonna throw out there and I'm gonna propose, and then you guys can beat me up for it.
We never do that, Barry.
But we need the data. We need the data on what's available in the parks SDCs, the accurate data, what's there.
And how much we collect each year.
And how much we collect, what kind of revenue we have coming in that we can maybe plan on. Is there money that we could get moved over from the general fund to the parks to help pay for some of this? And there's maybe some other options that I don't know if I'm speaking out of.
No, you're not, and they
This
spend,
franchise.
and what we do with these nice people here too affects it also. You know, so,
Exactly,
yeah.
we'll get to that. But what I wanna say is like, we need some of this other data first before we can really move forward. And I'm proposing that, I mean, we're just kind of spinning our wheels. We need to develop the CIP moving into 25, 26. And until we get that financial data, we can't really move forward. So I'm saying, I think we could just postpone having our meeting until we have those figures so that we can actually plan ahead and move forward. You're nodding your head. You agree?
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I think you work within what your budget is, and we frankly don't know what our budget is. I always think of it as like our family, you know, we don't extend ourselves past what we can afford. But if our kids want something or need something, and I'm thinking, you know, translating our city for kids, then we try to figure out a way we can do it.
Right.
And so I guess I know that we are enthusiastic after seeing the videos, that we like the idea, the city council likes the idea. So
I guess
at some point,
I would not post anything yet
yeah,
until we get the figures in front of us
to see if it's even
to
possible,
see if it's even possible. If it's not possible, then we
then there's
just.
no point,
No
right?
point.
That's what, yeah.
I completely agree with that. But I think at some point, it might be nice to have some input from the city to make sure this is something that they're very interested in having. Because at the end of the day, we're not gonna go be running down there.
That's right. So, does anybody have heartburn on, you know, I mean, if we get the figures, well, of course, then I'll schedule a meeting, but if we don't have anything to share, then I don't see us having a meeting in January at least. Okay, that's fine. Ryan Potter's not here.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Oh. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and, do we have our representatives from Polish Homes? Okay, you folks, why don't you, if you guys come up
Do you need
and
a computer or anything, or do you got handouts?
You got a jump drive and a handout.
Let me go throw that in for you.
maybe if we get an introduction for right now, maybe if you guys will just introduce yourself.
So I'm Trevor Simpelman with APS Engineering. And
That's all.
Nancy Paris, landscape architect department from St.
so we're both representing Polish.
Okay.
Do you know where to find that on there?
Did you get their names? Jot them down. Maybe if you jot them down on, is that your?
I've also got handouts. Hand those out for you.
Our names are on the last page.
Oh, okay. Kathy, I need to, I have to apologize, because we kind of had our portion of the meeting a little earlier, because I've got to say, no, I've got a commitment that came up yesterday, I didn't know about, so I have to leave before, or by 7, so I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Or you can miss it. It's almost.
Sure. You're welcome. I got shamed yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah.
This can be a thousand.
It was one of those, if it was one of those, if it was one of Britain's sporting events. And I said, no.
That's a good one.
Yeah. All right, you guys go ahead. We've got about 10 minutes or so. You need that.
I think this is gonna be just fine. So I'm going to talk about some of the amenities that have been built and are in the process of being built at Mark's Place, specifically with a focus on the Emerald Necklace Trail. Right, and so this is a view of the river, looking down the river from the site. Here's an overview of the site as it's being built. This is a concept of what the trail will eventually look like, and here's a view of the river from where the trail will be constructed. Polish Homes Mark Place Community is a new 167 lot residential neighborhood containing a variety of home sizes. Phase 1, which is up here in the top left, has 74 lots and is approximately half built out, with the remaining phase of infrastructure to be constructed by July of 26. Over here on the right are the future phases, and down here is the Emerald Necklace Trail, and you can see the river down below. As part of the community, Polish has built several programmed and improved public amenities, including a 1 acre central neighborhood park with a playground, covered picnic shelter, 2 pickleball courts, paved trails, and other various amenities. There are several open space areas within the community and a number of connecting pedestrian pathways as well. Large open space and trail areas coalesce into a new segment of the Emerald Necklace Trail along the Molalla River. And so this is the park, the entry, and part of the trail.
And I'll just note that those features are all HOA owned and maintained. They're not public facilities.
So here we go. The Emerald Necklace Trail is discussed in the Canby Park and Recreation Master Plan as highly desired by Canby residents. The dedication of this segment of the trail and open space will provide a public benefit and meet several of the city's park master plan priorities, which include more small parks that serve neighborhoods, ensuring parkland is reserved before or when new development is proposed, and capitalizing on opportunities as they present themselves. And down here, this is the future phase that will be built, and here's phase 2A and 2B of the trail. So the Emerald Necklace Trail concept includes 3.12 acres of open space, featuring a 1/4 mile publicly accessible multi-use paved trail, low-level pedestrian lighting, which will be these lighted bollards along the pathway, shade trees, see-through fencing, which preserves the views here on the side, and this in the background these are existing plants that are currently there with the fence in between. Benches along the trail, a usable low-mow grass recreation area, and it will preserve natural features, scenic viewpoints, and create recreation and leisure opportunities along the Molalla River.
All right, and so this is kind of our general overview. This is kind of our proposal for what we're envisioning for this park area. Kind of one of the main reasons we're here before you today is just kind of provide this proposal, and what we're mostly trying to figure out is what sort of SDC credits would be available for these amenities. I believe it's currently discussed that just the parkland and the pathway are what are SDC creditable, and there are no amenities above that. And so I think we're mostly just trying to figure out if there's a possible way that the city would be able to provide some SDC credits for these additional improvements, just to really make this kind of open space park area a better amenity for the community, versus kind of just that base improvement that's currently creditable.
So what this is all about is in lieu of SDCs, in lieu of you guys paying SDCs to the city to put in our pot.
Yeah.
Okay, you wanna know how much credit we're going to give you to. I mean, so I don't know how much SDC money is forecast right now, you know? Do we know?
For the, well, it depends on the level. of
Each home
improvement.
is about $6,900 in park SDCs, approximately. There's about, or we're phase 2A, the development portion is almost complete right now. And then there'd be a little over 100 homes remaining. I'll circulate, we put together kind of a budget for what we'd like to do with a little more than just a pathway. And yeah, pathway back there, but yeah, we're just looking to see, because we'd like to do more of an improvement than just a pathway. But it doesn't make, you're right, it doesn't make financial sense for us to go plant a bunch of plants and make everything gorgeous, lit bollards and, you know, stuff for the community, because to be frankly honest, we spent a lot of money on that 1 acre park, and the other amenities we're already putting in and maintaining, so
Right, that,
it doesn't make it.
and my question was on that 1 acre park, those pickleball courts are, your HOA maintained, so
Correct.
they're not accessible
The public.
to Karen and I, if we want to
Yeah.
go over and play pickleball.
Pickleball courts, no, but the playground would be, the shade structure would be, I mean,
Okay,
I guess theoretically, if the homeowners association, like somebody's causing a ruckus, they might try to drive them out there, but I know the neighborhood across 16th right now is utilizing most everything in the pickleball court. Haven't seen anybody utilize the pickleball court, to be honest.
Or whether-
No.
and I know, you know, right now, I mean, if you caught the tail end of our meeting here earlier, we're in need of SDC funds.
Mhm.
And we don't really know where we stand right now with SDC funds. And it would be nice to know what we're looking at. And so I think it's, you know, we may be, I don't know when you need your answer, but I think we'd be a little premature to say. You know, what
And provide a little bit more context, so the cost of the improvements and the park appraised value is that total value is less than the SDCs that would be gained from the city for 2A and 2B. So there wouldn't be more credits offered than what that area would be producing. So the city is still looking, even with our current proposal, the city is still looking to gain some SDCs from the 2A and 2B development.
And that's baked into our code. They can't get more credit than they would pay in if every house was paying its SDC.
Is that even a decision we can make? Isn't that a city council decision?
Well, they probably want a recommendation from this group.
Can I add to this real quick? So we've done work on the Emerald Necklace and Ivy Ridge and other places, and we have just had them put the path in and, you know, a little bit of bollard work and stuff like that, because it would have been so hard to pave it after it was done. But we didn't authorize anything else, because I think we got most of their SDC credits on property they gave us, so they didn't want to add anything to the path. This one, when they came, these folks have been really good to work with, and when they came to me, I said, I would like the path in, the city would like the path in, we'll give you credits for that over there, but other than that, the bottom line is we need, like what Counselor Davis said, we need to have your guys' recommendation if the council is going to approve doing anything more than the path. And that's what I was explaining to Paul Shomes. So we would, and what basically the decision would be here is, what do you guys want this path to look like when it's done? Do you want develop to do it, or do you want us to just get the pavement in and then us come back later and do it later? And their point's gonna be, you know, how expensive everything is to come back later. And so I think they had this broken down pretty good for prices. When I saw it, you guys did, night, Jeff, on
Yeah.
everything. So they have breakdowns on this, they have all the information. The bottom line is this group is what do you want this path to Emerald Necklace to look like when polished homes?
Well, do you, okay, I
Yeah,
guess,
I'll
Yeah.
circulate.
do you have an itemized
Yeah. here's an
list that
itemized
we
budget.
can
I
divulge?
think I gave enough that direction.
And I could make more copies if you guys
I think I got enough.
And so I think this is kind of it's not a major list. I think this is kind of largely inclusive of this kind of list right here. There's the trail, is kind of the base. Some of the things that we're looking to add are the pedestrian lighting. It wouldn't be for fully lighting the trail, it'd just be more marker lighting, just so there's some light back there in the evenings and at nighttime. We'd be looking to add some trees. I believe the fencing was a base cost. We'd be adding benches and then, and the grass, there's basic grass, but we were looking to irrigate the grass.
Yeah, ideally.
In addition to just, I think the base was, there was gonna be a low mow grass that wasn't ever irrigated. And so the goal was to add additional irrigation to that. And some additional plantings kind of in this corridor here and here.
At Ivy Ridge, when we did that over there, I guess to be consistent, all you did was trails, right?
pavement with grass.
Pavement
We
was that.
seeded it, yeah. And they didn't do a lot of work. We had to go in there. I mean, they just paved it and left it kind of rough. And so we've gone in there and kind of cleaned it up, so it's mowable, but it's nothing fancy. And a little bit of fence work where it was dangerous for the bluff. We had some fence, and I think that we might have to do that on this for safety. I haven't looked yet.
Okay, so to be consistent,
That would,
you want the trail to, you want the Emerald Necklace to be consistent. You know, you don't want a nice part of the Emerald Necklace and then
I don't
an electric.
particularly want any, I just want the stuff that we gotta get in. The pavement, the stuff to establish it so it's there, all the fancy, the more stuff. You guys need to make a recommendation if you wanna make this nice, or if you wanna take the SDC money and use it somewhere else.
Approximately how long of a stretch is that along the river?
Approximately a quarter mile.
It's about a 3-acre parcel. the whole thing.
It's kind of an island, right? Because it's not connected on the left or the right.
No.
That's correct. That's correct.
And it's maintained by the HOA too. They'll maintain that portion of it.
I think that gets dedicated to the city.
And Jim, Ivy Ridge is connected all the way to Village on the Rocks. It goes through Housel, but you can't connect. So this one, there would be a potential where we could make it where you cross Ivy Street, get into the neighborhood, and then you could continue on this path, but it is an island.
Kind of after this consistent.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, you can get, if you went up the road, you can follow, sidewalk up to there, but it doesn't have direct connectivity to that other part.
So this is, I'm reading this right, this is 602 if we went fancy Cadillac version. So what's just the basic stripped down Chevy version of this?
You want the path and the grass?
If we just said, we just want bare minimum, whatever that is, what's the, I guess I don't know.
Path grass fence.
The,
And a few little extras like stubbing conduit in, so we could hide it someday. They're doing that.
Oh,
They're answering lines.
She's good.
Don't fix
I don't
the
have eyes. I handed it out, but I can't.
okay.
yeah, I'm just trying to get a figure, of what's
An
what's the
idea,
difference of, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, because if you put in the Chevy version, then the balance of that goes into Parks SDCs
Right.
Right.
that we can use
I would assume that's out of the work, but don't know.
Maple Street or,
That's what they're.
yeah.
So my rough guesstimate is about $200,000. About a third.
A good chunk of it's irrigation. I'm guessing, I mean, it's gonna be irrigation and then the changing and planting.
And that total is 562.
So it's 562 is the construction cost, and then there's the land, the appraised land value of $40,000 is on the front page. And so the appraised land value is kind of a base, so it would be, and I think that 40 is in that $200,000 comment I said. So I think it's somewhere between $200,000 and $600,000 is kind of where we're talking. We could find some more in the middle, but that's kind of the range that we're at.
Do we need that? Do we need to come up with a recommendation now? or
It
do
would
we
help
have-
Ryan, and Paul Jones if you did.
The 2A portion I'd like to complete soon, it's ready to go.
I mean, just to maybe move things along, and this, my recommendation would be to pave and seed, or pave and put in the grass. That's what my recommendation is.
And the stub-ins, that makes a lot of sense. to have
Down the
that.
road, we could just bring irrigation and power in, yeah.
Whatever we decided.
Right, that's what my recommendation
I
is.
100% agree.
How much more is-
Is that fencing as well?
I
If
think.
it's the same, I
Yeah,
think, yeah, I think.
Some
we're
kind
gonna
of
fix it.
fencing.
Yes.
And I believe Jerry originally said to take it from split rail, which was shown on the one to, more of a black chain link.
Okay,
So it's-
all right. You agree with that, Terry? That's safety or?
Yes, I agree. How many children are you willing to risk down to the river? That's what he
Well,
said.
I mean, paving, grass, fencing for safety. Instead, and have the rest of the money go to SDCs.
I think it'd be better to do it now. It's gonna get more expensive later.
Well, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And
We do
that's-
part of the work
and that's
now
their-
and then come back and do it later. It is gonna be more expensive.
Well, that's like Ivy Ridge. I mean, we had the thing with Ivy Ridge where we could have done, built the parks, had those parks built, but city council said, no way.
So ultimately, it's up to them, but we can make whatever recommendation they want.
Right.
I just think that it's,
You wanna do the full blown thing with trees and the whole 9 yards.
sure,
That's,
And I think one thing to note is that this would be constructed by Polish at private dollars, or if you guys were to come back later, it has to be public rates.
Prevailing wage.
Yeah.
Jerry, can you talk about the maintenance cost to the city between the two versions? I mean, is it? negligible or-
It's not, I mean, it's just like, it's gonna be green, they're gonna be able to, we're gonna design it with them so it's easy to mow, you know, and stuff, but it is gonna be more maintenance with, down the road with the lighting, you know, maintaining the lights, maintaining, grass and pavement are easy for us, you go in there, you mow it, you leave. It adds maintenance, but it is what it is.
so you have two options.
We go off the recommendation. of
You
this
do
group,
the full board, full blown deal. Or you do pavement, grass and fencing. Okay, and those, I mean, those are the options that you're looking
So you say about $6,900 per house, is that what you said on SEC? So roughly, when this thing is 167 homes, about 1.2 million is kind of what the total all in?
70 of them are, or 60, I don't know what it is, 50, 60 are already complete. We have a
Yeah,
little over.
When it's all, so when it's all said and done, you're looking at just over a million or 1 point, so, and then 600, so we're spending about half the SECs on that Emerald Necklace part. Right? Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
If
89.
we did the Cadillac.
If you did the Cadillac, when it's all built out, that's what you're bringing in versus what we're putting out.
I have a question. If this group did advise us to do this and move forward with the full build out, would the HOA maintain it?
Ideally, would like not to, I mean, dedicating it to city can't be parks, so they.
I'm just saying, if
They
this
don't want
group,
to.
if this group gets rough with you, it's.
Yeah, no, the intention's not to be that, team that hard. I've talked to the HOA, those pathways, they'd be willing to do the maintenance on the connected pathways. Because it's a little more weeding and a little more active, but their big heartburn is the irrigation, to be completely honest. They don't want to pay and have irrigation for a city park.
Okay.
I said that we didn't do that for them somewhere else and they didn't like us for it.
Yeah, fair enough. Understand. Had to ask.
And even if they did, once the full members were there and on the board that are actually paying their HOA dues, they're gonna do something to push it back anyway. That's what they're doing on the level.
You have any input?
No, it's kind of an island, so the only people who are gonna use it is that HOA.
That's
Pretty
right.
much, that's why people until we connect it, and the chance we're connecting this way is gonna be a while. I know we can walk on the sidewalks and stuff, and then this way we know. I agree with what you said at the beginning.
I think also it's, for a quarter mile, it's a lot. So, and I think the path and the grass is great. And how far out are you guys on that other piece of property between here and 13?
It doesn't look like that's gonna happen. That was worked on for years in the making, and evidently that gentleman's very happy where he's at.
Ryan, did you have?
No, I mean, obviously, I think everybody would love to do the catalog and get it all done, but obviously, we just talked about, $400,000 would help someone plug our other potential holes that we have in some things.
Right.
So I don't know, I think staying the course of the basic version would be
Kathy?
the best deal at this point.
I don't feel like have the information of the full picture. I kind of walked into this mainstream, so. But, I'm always pro green spaces and pro parks, so.
The only thing I would like to see in addition to what you already said is the trees. I think, they're talking about fairly small trees at a relatively nominal amount. And anytime we can plant a tree, I'm all for that, and, getting them growing on and all of
But
that
you need
stuff.
irrigation then too.
Yeah,
to keep
um,
it alive.
Well, also,
No?
yeah, most likely, yes, I agree, or at least some supplemental stuff as they're getting established, but they can do those sacks where they,
Guys are on the way.
Jerry,
would you go, we could go back later and put trees in.
Yeah, we can do that, and we have our seasonal water and the tree bags, but
Yeah.
And we could use Ron Yarbrough's,
Yeah,
request to put him in flowering gardens.
Yeah, they've got $6,000 for all the trees in this first one,
which is a good deal.
and 6,000 on the second section as well. So another $12,000 for all of the trees, which is a fairly significant amount. Looks like it would pretty much shade the,
Was the trees
Majority.
be chosen based on the recommendations by the city? I mean, are you expecting a certain tree?
In this budget, there was a tree used, so obviously if it's some kind of a fancy Japanese maple, it'd be a different price.
Right.
I'm not sure what tree was used.
I guess what was that?
We proposed, I believe it was a forest green oak. So large size oak tree.
that sounds lovely.
Yeah, nice deep green leaves is drought resistant after established, which will take, 3+
Yeah.
years. Of course, everything likes water, so
Right,
ideally, but it is a tree that is naturalized here that would do very well, looks stately.
yeah, and that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I propose the Chevy version at this point. We can use, obviously, we've got other projects that we're trying to get done. And we don't know how much money that we have available to us, so we can use that SBC fund, so. It's great to do the emerald necklace, it's great to do that, and Ryan's proposed that before. I'd love to see it happen, but, I'm a Chevy version right now, you guys can talk about it as long as you want to, but I gotta go watch my granddaughter.
Question, does the Chevy version include planting of trees? Because I think that's.
Well, that's what I was
That's what she-
suggesting, and so Chevy, his Chevy was not with trees, my Chevy added the trees.
I think the trees are
Go
important.
to an Audi.
Howdy. It's Toyota.
General Motors.
All right, okay, could be a Buick.
And to answer your question or the discussion you and I had, that bench on the logging trail was purchased and placed by the man who had the carvings put in the tree. So he purchased a bench and there's a plaque with it.
Where our chair leaves, are we gonna have a decision? So
You have my decision.
who's running the meeting? Kara?
Sure. I mean,
Sure.
so should we do a motion before
We
you
should.
leave?
A motion for recommendation.
Will you vote for the trees, Barry? I think that we can add the trees at a later date, and you might want to do the flowering dogwood like Ron Yarborough suggested, the trees of the future, so. I'm just pavement, hookups, grass, that's my vote.
Okay, all right, so
Thank
maybe,
you.
maybe we do two motions? I don't know. That, shall we do Barry's motion would have the fence, the path, and the stub ends,
And
Fence. and the what?
grass
And
and
the-
fence.
Yes.
Yeah, I said fence,
Okay.
and that's the black chain link. So that would be option one. Okay, and then, so do we wanna,
So we did trees, we're talking about not doing irrigation and doing the bag variety that.
It would make it work for staff in the summer, to water and keep them wide.
So for a 200 Chevy,
I think that's where.
what is the GMC with trees? I mean, is that 10,000, 20,000, how much is it?
$24,000 to have trees, right?
no, it's 12 for both first
6 and 6.
6 and 6.
And then you probably add a little bit for the bags and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
20,000.
And there is more place, and there is an opportunity to do temporary irrigation for just more use if you guys go that route.
Okay,
Because there is a water meter stub or a water service stub to this tract. Because they're trying to hedge our bets just in case we're one way or the other.
right,
And so there could be a temporary irrigation system for establishment. But I don't know the cost for that at this time. But it wouldn't be nearly the cost of the irrigation that we had installed.
Right.
Because that's for grass and the whole
Sure.
thing.
Or like a drip system kind of thing.
It would just be Kara, trees or no trees, I would handle the rest.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna handle the fence and where it needs to be and all that. It'd just be grass, path and all that, stubs. Trees would be the only end. If you guys
So-
want to vote on that.
So I feel like we need to have a motion, and the two options are what we've just discussed. The first one that Barry suggested with the path, the fence, and the grass.
I'll start out with a motion to do the basic with trees.
Okay,
And
so,
if you shoot that one down, then you can go back to your basic one. How
okay,
does that sound?
I'll second that.
okay.
So we have a Chevy with air conditioning.
That's right.
So, I don't know, it's the basic, which is, I think you know everything that's in the basic that we're talking about.
Right, the fence, the path, the grass, and the stub ends.
And trees.
With the trees, so that's our upgrade,
That's my motion,
okay,
and I think he said, Jimmy seconded it.
and we have a second, do you have that? So, all in favor? Aye. Well, it looks like we passed, is there anybody that, so I guess, yeah, I'm trying to figure out who all votes, so I guess it's just the.
But Barry voted against that.
Yeah.
Barry voted against that. Yes, he did. So we
Did
have.
he get a vote? Or
Well,
is he tiebreaker?
he did say that he was, we talked about it being,
Yes, sure. Did he
he
vote?
wanted the first option without the trees, so
I don't know, is that legal?
I think we have to
Yes,
register
yes,
him as a.
Okay.
So we have 7 for with the trees and 1 without the trees. So the with the trees passes. That would be our recommendation to the city council, and we can have Mr. Davis take that to the city council.
Sure will.
Okay,
In the meantime, that gets us going. Ron
Yeah.
and I, and we get early rain.
Starting with an air conditioner.
everything's air conditioning.
Well, you guys are welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting.
We're a lot of fun.
You seem like a great group.
Thank you for
letting us in.
Thank you.
Well, we probably are gonna take
Okay.
It's been exciting.
All right.
We get that. Kara?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Terry, yes, yes,
Thanks for working.
yes, we don't have the agenda anymore,
Yeah.
but I
Go ahead.
think she was on it.
Get some grads.
Get worked out, and we'll get.
Jerry, can we get a copy? Can you just email that to Jerry or whoever you're dealing with the city, and then send it out to the board?
The, what part, the,
I guess both parts, that's possible.
I have,
You have the estimate, you don't have another word, right, either.
can you send them together to me and I'll forward it to you?
Yeah.
Perfect, just so we can have it.
Appreciate
Cheers,
it.
Jerry. Thank you.
I just.
I had it,
oh,
I
you-
had it,
you-
yeah,
okay.
WRS,
Yeah, all right,
okay.
great.
Wonderful,
Thank
all
you.
right, thank you
Thanks
so
for-
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, have a good night.
Yeah.
And so Jerry, can you get the agenda back up for us?
Terry from the Rotary asked to just do a short presentation to us tonight, and she's been trying to get here for a while, so this, she's got a proposal for parks.
All right. Terry from the Rotary, you're up, my dear.
Okay, so we would like to be able to put into our city parks and the ones that are being used, like Timber Park, because people walk through them, or they have a playground or something, but put free libraries in there. And it would be completely paid for by Rotary. It would be maintained by Rotary. It just would be something nice so that as the parents are at the park or the kids are at the park, they can grab a book, they can leave a book, whatever. But like I said, we've got the funding to do it. We have the manpower to build them. We can put them in, we'll stock them, we'll maintain them. And we will also make sure that they're updated and cleaned and taken care of. So if they need to be repainted or anything. So it costs you guys nothing. It's just something that we want to donate to the parks.
Do you have a sketch of what they would look like?
Yes. Here, I'm sorry, I only brought 2, but then they are made out of wood. They would be painted with Rotary blue colors and the Rotary like, logo on the side. And they would make sure that the roofs of the water doesn't sit on it. They would have glass. And we would do all the work on it.
It's a super cool idea. My only question would be where maintenance would go in place, like in the parks, working with them.
Yeah,
Would be
so-
the best thing.
Yeah, I mean, just like, where do you guys want them? I mean, do you put them by a bench where the parents are gonna be sitting, or people are sitting, or just, like I think it just adds a little bit more value to our parks, because people are gonna be there, and they're all over the place. I mean, I've seen them on the walking paths when I go walking, and it's just kind of a nice,
Where did they come, sorry? You had mentioned that there's glass,
in the front.
is there, I'm just thinking outside the box here, is there a way to get that like a plexiglass? I'm just worried about, obviously,
I thought the same thing.
not all, people are.
We probably, I'm sure we can, I actually can, I ordered them on Amazon. And so it's whatever, I mean, I think that I believe it's a glass, but I'm sure that we have the manpower to get plexiglass.
I would feel, well, Jared might speak, just if somebody broke glass, glass laying around and bad things happen, so, Not that they can't terrorize plexiglass probably, but at least they would have to put a little better effort into it.
We'll get it fastened down.
You would take a 4x4 and attach it to the bottom with some arms coming up, and then we would have to cement them into the ground. So it would, be locates and just where you guys wanted them.
Is the city guys gonna install them or are you?
We would do it. We just need your okay on where to put them and what parts to put them. But we have the budget to do it.
I think this is something that Jerry could work with Terry on as far as the locations
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
and which parks.
I mean, the ones I was thinking of, and I might be wrong, I was thinking that maybe Wake Park, or Maple Street Park, Locust, Timber Park. I don't know at North Park or Bike Park, or maybe the Bike Hub Park, but there might be others.
Sound like Holly and Territorial.
Yeah,
Legacy would be a good one, I think.
I don't know if the White House work would. You just that, it's on the corner there at Holly and.
Yeah, it's kind
I don't know if anybody.
Yeah.
I was just pulling them up.
There's that park in the middle of, it's near the bike hub.
Not Northwood.
It's a Northwood side.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Some of those type of parks, I think would be like Northwoods is a pretty safe park. People can use from, I take it down to community park, I can see it getting,
Yeah.
Yeah,
depends
that,
on where you put it.
that'd get vandalized, especially in the summertime, I think.
Yeah, like Locust, Park, I think I don't know, we get a lot of vandalism over there.
Are doing.
Yeah, but, I don't know, it doesn't sound like it's any maintenance to the city. But,
We would do a grant, we have a grant already to pay for them and to do all the work, and then we would just get a small grant every year.
And Auburn Farms, when that comes in, that would be a good one.
it was, yeah.
I just need to know what parks, and so I can budget for that, and then we can go get books and budget for all the supplies. And work with whoever I need to work with, the location of parks.
And so if they became problematic, would you take them out? Was, yeah,
We don't want it to be a problem,
yeah, I wouldn't,
but it becomes a community service, another project for us
yeah.
to do.
Would the books be stocked seasonally, or is the container weatherproof so that they could stay in there year round? Or?
Yeah, they're weatherproof,
Oh, okay.
so we would just make sure that we walk to those, check on them.
Yeah.
Probably every quarter to see what's there. I mean, we're trusting the people that live around there and that uses the parks to put books back in, take them back out. And it would be stocked with like children's books, teen books and adult books.
Yeah, that would be my only concern, is that not somebody responsible for, typically when you see these up, the person who puts them up visits them regularly. So that if there are problems or with anything, whether it's maintenance or stocking, they're gonna be on it and see that, but this is kind of not that, so that's my only concern.
Well, we have 78 people in our club that can go around, and I just have to ask them, hey, give me on a monthly basis or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe
It could be a
just,
community, a committee of people.
or maybe a phone number inside the thing that says, if there's a problem with this, give us a call at,
Yeah.
something like that, I don't know.
That would be great.
Give
Just
them
like-
Jim Davis is.
Yeah.
He's retired now.
But no, if this group's on board, I mean, we'll see, I've seen these around.
Yeah, that's-
Well, there's some on the bike trail too.
Is that what I've seen?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
In front of houses, I
Yeah.
think people.
Yeah.
in front of their own
Yeah,
houses.
Well, the whole, that trail what do they call it? The
Long-
logging trail has,
Mhm.
3 or 4 of them,
Mhm.
which is kind of fun.
Have we had any trouble with those? That's a good sign.
You get, I mean, if you get some bad kids running around, you have trouble with everything, the outhouse is on fire and everything, so That'd be my biggest thing, is if someone started a fire, didn't start a fire in a forest or something, you know, if we had some kid who said, light on wood somewhere, because that's probably wood, or is it like a,
It's way.
it's wood, okay. Just keep it away from anything, so you don't start a forest fire in the summer.
Yeah, I think, I guess that would be my other concern, is to make sure that it's, the location for it is placed with the agreement of somebody in authority, whether it's Jerry or
Yeah,
somebody should say, you know, you guys go and scout it out, check it out, and say, this is the spot where we want, and then, but you get a buy-in by somebody like Jerry. Or,
So we need to make a motion.
That'd be good.
I think so, yeah.
you have someone to blame.
And you'll work with Jerry on like which parks to put them in, or do you want that recommendation from this group?
Whoever you guys want me to work with. I mean, we probably wouldn't start it till after the first of the year.
I think we'll do some work together and kind of report back to this group what we kind of decided on and see what they think. We're gonna start out the first year. Does that make sense?
I like that a lot, and then that way we can kind of give you the go-ahead to figure it out.
I'll give you my card and we can get together and start sorting this out, get together with the parks folks and see what their thoughts are. They might have some good ideas where to put them.
Okay, perfect.
So we need a motion.
Do we have a motion?
Sure, I'll move that we, okay, the Rotary to put in these, mini libraries. Seven parks, and to work with Jerry at the sessions.
Okay. And we have a second? All in favor? Okay. And do you feel like you have that sorted?
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, okay.
You cleaned it up.
Yeah, you know what.
You cleaned that up there. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh,
And then we can just,
we'll get to, right? I wasn't sure if I missed. It's been a little. Okay.
Jim, you put it in like an automotive term where you.
Okay, so with
So
that,
we're gonna wanna.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll just be in touch after the
Yeah.
end of the year.
Great, we'll look forward to hearing back from you.
Okay,
Yes.
and then we have Mike and Ted over here.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so can you? Sure. Yeah,
Do
that's
you have a
awesome.
computer? What do you need? You need
Oh,
anything?
I don't need
Okay,
anything.
have a seat.
Chair, maybe. Okay. Hi, I'm Mindy from Bikehead, and I chair the Bikehead Committee, and as far as recommendations for the logging road, we were just at our October meeting and also, our November and October, or sorry, November and December meetings. We made the recommendation to have for the logging road, a dashed white line down the center just to cue people to stay to the right. And so for all users' safety, also 15 mph speed limit for all bikes or all moving wheel vehicle, or not vehicles, but yeah. As far as, because currently the state is under, or evaluating the, what do you call it?
We follow the state's
Yeah,
rules. and
exactly.
So we're kind of want to piggyback off them.
Exactly, and they are
you
doing
don't look
public
like you
input. Yeah. So anyway, and everyone, state, local, national, are trying to get up to date on the electric bikes. And there are reasons to allow them and also safety concerns. Reasons to allow them, it really enables a lot of people who might not otherwise be able to get out and about to do so, particularly elderly, impairments with knees, ankles, hips, things like that. And so we are advising to, follow what you're already doing. So, yeah, and
We work with the chief of police and he's not gonna do anything until they update theirs.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
And then also the one other thing is on the very north end by the Willamette River. We're recommending having that one-way only on the loop at the bottom because it is banked and for all, safety for all, just having it one-way counterclockwise is probably better because if you did clockwise, it's pretty steep on that end and you have people picking up speed going downhill rather than the other, so counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And that's
somebody
it.
end up in the river.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, anyhow,
Not his problem
Well,
anymore.
As a frequent user of that path,
yes,
I can tell you that most people take that loop clockwise.
oh, really?
Right, I mean, it's
Kind of
uphill on, I mean, it goes
Mhm.
like,
I very rarely see people go clockwise on that.
Yeah,
I-
at the
go
very
counter.
end where it goes down by the river and
Yeah.
then comes back up around.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
usually
always
you're
go
going north
counterclockwise.
and you go to the right.
No, I see.
You go to the left and come back
Yeah,
around.
well,
Oh,
we
so
just keep
you're the
going
one.
straight until, and then just loop back up around.
I'm like you.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, that's what I see, I mean,
and we're advising otherwise because as, you know, a bicyclist, a little kid on a bike starts picking up too much speed on that steeper downhill, they take it wide. It just, you're gonna be safer going counterclockwise, at
Right.
least in our discussions. So we're
Okay.
just sharing that with you tonight. So,
okay, so you're just coming to just tell us what you're thinking,
yeah.
not
we're
to
just-
get any feedback or anything.
Oh, we're happy to have feedback, but I mean, we're not really the rule makers, we're just the advisors, and we're just trying to do our due diligence for all of you as the Parks Board. So if you have questions or anything,
And so the dotted lines, has that been decided on?
Just started,
it's not
we
to
just
for us
started
Just
talking.
talking about it,
I
okay.
believe I was invited to your next Bike to Bed.
yes,
Okay, and so I'm gonna start going to that so we can communicate, because I've been working with Bruce Parker also on this, and what I was telling Bruce is the striping is pretty easy for us. It's money, but it's easy, but it's kind of bad weather, so we have time to
Mhm.
talk about it for,
Yeah.
and we won't have our painter back up in until June, so we got a lot of time to keep working on this.
totally,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I know it worked good where we did it under the tunnel. I think that.
Yeah,
was super
it has
helpful.
worked really well.
Going
Yeah.
under Fourth Street Bridge, is that what, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I could see that as being a benefit, but I mean, like I said, we're out there all the time, and I cannot tell you how many times I've been almost run over by a bike out there. And I really worry that if it were a dotted line, they would think that that's their path, and then it would get worse. That's my concern. I'm taking off my hat off of this board and just being a user, and I don't.
How would it make them think it was their path?
Well, because they're gonna think that I have to stay in my dotted lines we're walking 3 abreast. It's my husband and my dog and I, and so we're probably not gonna stay within the dotted lines, even unless we go single file. And we already have such a problem with bikes out there that I would worry that a dotted line would make it worse.
I disagree. I
Yeah.
think it's just the opposite from all the running I know.
And
I
it
think
is-
you can still walk down like 3 across from each other, but then you see someone oncoming, then you get into your lane and you kind of branch off again.
And it is a park, Kara, so we're not gonna do any striping until this group decides on it, so you'll have time to look into that. and make your
Yeah,
case.
I'd like to hear some research on how that affects the users.
I think it's a visual cue for users to be aware of oncoming traffic and otherwise. And it seems to be working well. We'll try to get some examples for you.
Yeah, that underpass, I can see where that would really have been a benefit, because it just makes people realize that they can't see beyond there.
Yeah.
But this is, I mean, that if you're walking down towards the river, the bikes that come up behind you are going so fast. I mean, so many times, I've just had the pants scared off me because they don't call out and they're going way too fast. And it's a problem. I don't know who, how to fix it.
Let's ask in Bike and Ped, when's that?
Yeah, it's the second Tuesday of the month, so January, I had it.
That's all right, we'll
Yeah,
talk, maybe
yeah,
we'll
we'll
discuss
talk.
various concerns of that.
Yeah, I mean,
All of those.
yeah, I, whatever can fix it, that would be great, or I don't know that, I think there's gonna be some people that are gonna be a problem, and then there's some people who are super nice and courteous.
Yeah.
I talked to a lot of people out there that have shared my concerns, that have had close calls.
Yeah.
So,
So hopefully that 15 miles an hour would help too, be a visual cue for people to slow down a little bit.
yeah, I don't know where you'd post that, cause
We're
it
gonna paint it
says.
I'm gonna paint it on the road,
Oh,
so
okay,
that we don't have signs that they have to mow around.
Right,
We
oh,
just get a
that's-
stencil and shoot it.
I like that idea a lot.
No trip hazards, no.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Like that, Dave, exactly, yeah.
This was down in Monterey.
Yeah.
It was twice as many people using that trail,
Yeah,
thousands of people.
That would be good, cause it's on those big yellow signs at the gate,
It's posted at
area.
each end, but
but nobody pays attention to it.
What does the signage at the end say? I forget.
15.
I know, but are there any other rules? Like, I've been on some trails where it's like cyclists yield to pedestrians.
It says, to ride slow around pedestrians or something like that, I think.
and for pedestrians to stay to the right and all users to stay to the right, and we wanted to say for bikes to call out, but a lot of people thought that that would be alarming to pedestrians, so we didn't do that.
I'd
But
say do
then
it.
I think that a bell
Yeah.
or a calling out
Oh,
to
the-
signal people are there is really a polite thing to do.
So just today, we're walking and I kept hearing this ding ding and I thought it was coming from the golf course. So I was kind of looking over to see where it was coming from in the golf course. And finally, we're like right about here, this guy yells out that he's right there and, it startled me. And then he was annoyed with me because I didn't understand that his ding ding was him. I couldn't tell where it was coming from. So, and then, and he was riding too fast and, that was just today. So it's you're taking your life in your hands on that trail at this point. It's not good out there.
Well,
is that all you have?
yeah, that's all I had, and we wanna make it pleasant for all users, but it's
Yeah.
very important for people on bikes too, if there are some bad actors.
Yeah.
We want to find a way to live happily together.
Agreed.
And
there's babies
it
out
comes
there
with
and strollers
communication.
and,
Absolutely,
everybody should get to use it.
yes.
It's safe.
Thanks for.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Okay. Oh, Ryan Potter. Do you have a city update?
I don't have anything big, but, I had a couple, just people from the public comments, so I figured I'd bring that to the board. We had someone come in today that said they wanted pickleball courts in the Senate Dodds Park. We communicated that they had been contemplated, but there was concerns that, it would be loud. They seemed to think that was a reasonable answer. But then the other one was someone who emailed me while I was out on vacation, and we had a long conversation today. Really great, citizen down in Ivy Ridge. And she said that, they have a group in their neighborhood, because I don't know if you guys remember, but there's that empty park space that's safe there that's been dedicated. And, they've been noodling on different ideas for what they might want there, and they understand that nothing's happening like super imminently. But that, they've been discussing community gardens. And so they just wanted to float that as something they have interest in. We kind of talked about how our parks maintenance crew is stretched relatively thin, so they're always looking for things that don't add a ton of work, but she seems to totally understand that would probably be a neighborhood group that would maintain it. So she just wanted to put that out there.
water there?
Yeah,
Didn't we talk about this at our last meeting? Because there were, like, somebody brought the map up.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
And I missed the last meeting, so I.
Okay, so you guys missed it. Yeah, we did talk about this, and I love that idea.
Oh, okay.
I totally love that idea. I think the consensus was that, right, Terry, wasn't the consensus that everybody thought they should go for it, right?
We were going to invite them to come and discuss it.
yeah.
You remember, because you.
So the coolest thing, I think, is just the idea that there's a group of neighbors there that are already kind of discussing what they might want to see or not see there. So she indicated that when the time comes, she can be a connection point for the city to, you know, organize our outreach, so.
Yeah,
Can she bring a proposal to this group?
that'd be great.
So, yeah, I can talk to her about that.
I think that this group just needs to see a proposal on what they're talking about.
We'd love that.
And that's all I have.
And Capper?
Hi.
There you are.
I missed the meeting in November, just like I missed this one, because they were back to back Monday and Tuesday, and I'm sick. And then our December meeting was canceled because somebody else had to cancel, so I don't have any updates,
Okay. Okay,
but I will get these pictures to Ryan.
okay, good.
He's working with the website
Yeah,
guy. so-
we looked at them last time.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No problem. Yeah, hopefully stuff in there is something you need
Yeah, I'm sure it's
or
good stuff.
can use. Okay, Mr. Davis.
Obviously, the city council is going to be winding down here for the holidays. Not much on the agenda for tomorrow night. The biggest issues around the Canby Adult Center and second reading for the ARPA funding for their new facility. And I anticipate that that's going to be approved tomorrow night. I continue to give all the updates from this group, and I really appreciate all the work by this group. And I think that I do know the city council is impressed with how much stuff you guys are getting done, but I gave them an update on Maple Street Park and the walkways and things like that that are happening there. Still, there's a lot of interest on the city council about that parking area, that additional parking area that we need to work on. At Maple Street Park, I noticed too, Jerry, once we can start painting again with the weather and stuff, trying to get those driveways marked out. I went past there again today, you know, and it'd be nice to have those marked out before softball and baseball season take off again too, so people can see getting out of those driveways. But we've also seen where we can budget that for next year in regards to that, at least one of the parking areas for next year as well. Because it's just gonna get busier and busier, no doubt about it. And the people on Maple Street deserve us doing the best we can to try to park those cars on site. Yeah.
Let's try to. Okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's it. Wish everybody a happy holiday season.
You too. All right, so. Does anybody else have anything for the good of the group?
Maybe I missed it because I was late, but is Maple Street, are the lights, everything done, dialed?
Not quite, close. I think we're waiting for the backlights to still come on, Dustin. We added them lights across the back field because somehow we missed them, and so they're ordering them. They'll be in February. Yeah.
Is that for the walking path? Or, yeah.
Yeah, we
Are the
went-
big ones up?
The big ones are up. I think that's all dialed in. I missed the training on it.
I did too.
It's all, yeah, everything's.
Scoreboards are all working.
Yeah.
So on the training, is it gonna be given to certain, to?
I came to the training.
We had the people that are gonna run it at the training,
Yeah.
and it sounds like it's pretty user friendly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty simple.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we'll get the mics up and get everything squared away, but I haven't heard any complaints yet. Seems like everyone's pretty happy.
So, we have the next meeting for January 21st. Barry talked about not meeting, but it sounds like maybe we have the presentation from Pike and Ped upcoming. And then the, one from Ivy Ridge with the.
Well, I'll have to talk to them to see
Okay,
if
see
they're
if they
ready,
wanna come.
yeah.
So let's kind of pencil it in for January, and then if we don't need it, we can always cancel it, but we'll leave that up to Jerry, yeah?
Well, I'll make sure that you guys get the CIP.
Oh, that'd be,
Balances and stuff, so, because Jerry's gonna be in the thick of budgeting
Yeah,
starting then. And so I would recommend you hold a meeting, and even if it's to go over the CIP projects with Jerry because of the budget.
I agree with that, Jim.
I
because
do too.
I went off of budget, my budget numbers and, went over them with Barry and started the CIP, and he just wanted to get actual really hard numbers from the finance director, so.
Yeah, that and the,
And
and
then,
the park maintenance fee.
And
I
the
was gonna say
department
the
fee,
STRs,
yeah.
yeah.
I think it'd be good to have this meeting,
I
and I
agree.
think you'll have this information
I'll
pretty
have
soon, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now that you're retired, do you have time to send more emails? Yeah, but,
Yeah, if we could get the financial information, maybe that could be the agenda.
yeah, that would be fun, because that would help me so much to have the CIP ready to go, you know, and not doing it last minute, come on budget, because we're gonna be starting pretty soon. January 21st, February, we should be having meetings for budget, going into March, ready to go, be ahead of the game.
Yeah, hit the ground running.
Why did Barry want to have a meeting?
I don't know, he said that a couple times.
He said that he didn't want to have the meeting if we didn't have the numbers.
Uh-huh,
We'll have to know.
Oh.
we'll have the
because-
numbers,
Because he really wants that,
yeah,
so
I,
we can.
I agree.
I already sent Eileen while I was sitting
Yep.
here. So, you know,
Okay, so do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Okay, second? Thank you, Ryan. Okay, we are adjourned.
have a
Thank you,
great
everybody.
Christmas.